Hey, Bridget, I thought I'd send you a little recording on some of the things that I did with this reflection or this transformation project in general, and just kind of the process that I went through to teach it. So I sent you this. Here's the actual assignment. If you want to follow, maybe print that out and follow for this little lesson, that might be better. But you probably don't have to do that if you don't want. But I'm going to do problem one and then maybe problem three, and then I'm sure everybody can figure it out from there on what's happening. So I spent, I don't know, 30 minutes just kind of explaining how spreadsheets work. I really wanted to do this in Excel, but Google Sheets is free, so that's how it goes. So here's the first one, the steps. The steps in the box are what I really tried to give the eighth graders or just the kids in general, whatever age. Okay, these are the steps to make a graph. So literally in the box, just follow exactly what that says. So it just says write original in box A1, X in box A2, Y in box A3, and enter the first point only. So I'm having them enter the first point only because I'm going to have it graph a shape, and I want the shape to be dynamic. So I know in a spreadsheet you can enter all the data and then make a chart. But if you make a chart before you enter the data, it will become live as you put the points in. So here were the steps. Okay, create a line chart. So get a chart, turn it into a line. Oh, what the heck? Turn it into a line chart. Okay, so I still think Macs are dumb. I hit some button. Okay. Turn it into a line chart. I'm having to make the data range just go up to 100 points. Google Sheets does some of this automatically, but just to stay consistent. And then we tell it where the x-axis data is. So it's from A1 to A100. I'm only going to use 5 or 6 rows, but I just told the kids, you make it big enough that will definitely be enough. Now, Google Sheets automatically assumes we wanted a bar chart, so it still doesn't have that data point as a single point until we have the x-axis, and then the y-axis series has to be only the y-axis. So those are what those steps are trying to say. And then it says select an appropriate domain and range for these things. So this is a decent time. I actually didn't have them do it on this first one, so I think I'll skip that until problem number 3 to show. But you see now it's got the data point as a dot, as a ordered pair. Okay, and now we'll go 6, 8, and 2, 3. Seeing it's plotting it as we go now. So 3, 15, and voila, we have a triangle. So question A on that triangle says, go ahead and reflect the shape across the x-axis. So I made them label some of this. We're going to reflect across x. Reflect across x. And then I had them put the rule there. So with this, we've been studying this for 2 weeks already. So they know the rule on their folder of knowledge. And we also, we can think it out. Going across the x-axis is going to make it fold down. So it's the y that's negative. So the rule is x negative y. I haven't put that in there. Now I want them to create. So some kids at the beginning just started typing this in with points again. Well, that's got to be 3 and then negative 15. Okay, that's fine. It will do that. But I want them to do it as a formula, which why some of the problems towards the end have 100 data points in it so that they can't do the reflections just by typing it all in again. So I want them to say, go up and grab this 3. So it's equal box A3. And then I want them to go up and grab the 15, which is in box B3, but then make it negative. So equals box negative B3. And then we want to fill that down. So I'm going to fill that down. And there's the reflection. So it drew it as it went. Now, in order to make a break so that, it ignores all the words, so it drew a connection between 315 to 3 negative 15. That's what that line is. If you put half a point in, it will eliminate. Got some extras here. I filled down too far. If you put half of a point in, it will break the shape there. So this will break the drawing and pick up the drawing again. So it's only the 0 that matters, but I told my kids for visual purposes, let's write in the word break right there so we can see that it broke the drawing. So I drew the first one, and then we had the formulas reflect the second one. Okay, I'm going to break that again. And then the next part B of the assignment says reflected across the y-axis. So now we're going left to right. So that means it's negative x and then regular y. So there's our rule. So now we need equals negative a3. So we'll go get the original shape and negate it. And then we want the regular y. So equals b3. The original shape was in b3. And fill that down. And there was the first one. That was the first one that we did together, so that kids could get the idea of how to use a formula to do some of this stuff. Okay, number 2 was almost as simple. So then number 3, I'm going to skip to number 3. So if we go to number 3, let me move some of this stuff around. Why won't this move? Okay, for crying out loud. There we go. No, that's not it. Okay, I'm just trying to get to the second tab because I already typed in the data just so this would go faster. I need to move this stupid panel right here. Need a new sheet. Let's see, how can I get it off of there so I can see that darn. Boy, whatever this is, it just isn't going to move for me. Maybe I can just hit X. Okay, there, finally. Good grief. Okay, so sheet 1. So I already put the data in sheet 2 just so that I could not have to type all that stuff in. So now I'm on problem number 3. I've already entered the data. So I would have already had them build a table. So insert a chart, make it a line chart. Okay, fine. A1 to B100. The x-axis, I want to go from A1 to A100. And then get rid of the extra X right here. Okay, so there's the Google Sheets steps to make it treated as a set of data. Okay, so all that data made half of an Inca star. So that's a famous thing here in Peru. So there's the top half of the Inca star. So part A says rotate the shape 90. Okay, so I'm going to say rotate 90. So the rule for rotating 90, is, let's see, it's going to be, let me sketch this on a quick piece of paper. I should have had this ready. It's going to be y negative x. Okay, so kids should know how to do that already. So that means now I want the y value to be in the first one. So that's going to be equal b3, because that's the original y value. And then I want the original x value, which is an a3, to be negated. Now, this original data set went from row 3 to row 20, so I need to fill this down 17 times. So 23 plus, so I'll go down to 40. So let me fill it down to 40. And voila. Okay, here's what I meant in that one spot. Pick an appropriate range and domain. If we right-click in that and go to axes, I'm going to go to horizontal axes. Instead of letting it do it itself, I'm going to square it up and make the minimum go to 20 and the maximum go to positive 20. As you can see, it's squared it up already horizontally. Then if you scroll down a little bit further, I'll make the range the same thing. I'm just going to make it square from negative 20 to positive 20. And that will keep it from getting all crazy just because of the window. Okay, so now I basically have it square, and we can see the 90-degree reflection. Step B, not reflection, rotation. Step B says rotate 180. Okay, that's the same as reflecting through the origin, so it's negative x and negative y. So these are things that we basically already spent a lot of time learning. So now I need negative I need A3 to be negated. So I'll go up and get the original point and make it negative, and then equals negative B3 to go get the original Y point and make it negative and fill it down 17 times. So 42 to 59. And there's the other one. Now these value things, this is the break. So I tried to put a formula on the word break. Doesn't even matter what's in there. It's the zero that's breaking it anyway. Okay, and then part C says reflect it counterclockwise. So we would do that again. Or it says reflect it 270 or 90 counterclockwise. So the rule for that is, let's see, what is the rule for that? 3, 1 becomes 1, negative 3. So it'd be x negative y. I mean, y negative x. That's the rule. So the original y now, I'm going to go up and get b3 and leave it positive. And then the other one, I'm going to go up and get a3 but make it negative. And fill that down 17 times, so 61, 71. Okay, that must not have been the rule. Y negative x, I thought that was the rule. Let me check. Whatever the rule is for that. I feel like I'm wasting time and not having the rule prepared here. I have to draw myself a visual. Oh, it's negative y positive x. So this dot right here needs to be negative, and this dot right here needs to be positive. And I guess this is good because this is the learning progress that all of the process that the kids all go through. They make these mistakes, and I look at it and say, well, your 270 didn't work because it didn't show up, and we can go look at the 270. But anyway, there's half of the Inca star rotated around. Okay, so then the next section, as it says copy the original data and put it in columns columns D and E. So I'm going to copy the original, only the original. So I'm going to copy this, put it in D and E. Okay, I'm going to come over here and make a new chart. Line chart, D and E, the X is probably right. The only thing I have to get rid of is this extra X. Since I had the data in there, it actually knew what I wanted. Okay, no it didn't. A1 through A100. Okay, I'm good with that. So there's the original data again. Of course, the domain and range is dumb. It'll probably fix itself as we go, but I'm going to go ahead and fix it myself. So I think 20 to 20 was good. And then that's the vertical that's not doing so well. So how about negative 20 to 20? And we'll take control of the domain and the range. Okay. So now the original data, so this problem says reflect it so that it makes an Inca star. Well, Inca star is just this one reflected across the x-axis, so all the kids in Peru know what an Inca star looks like. So we're going to reflect. See, I just didn't want to give them the rule. I wanted to give them words. So we want to reflect across the x, which is x negative y. So I'm going to go up and get the first data point, which is in A3. Then I'm going to go up and get the negative y data point, negative B3. Now the idea is I want to treat the whole thing as one deal. So it goes from 3 down to 20. So now I want to take all of it and fill it down 17 times. I guess that's what we did before also. So 17 times is going to go to there, fill down, and voila. I just said voila and nothing happened. Let me go check the data range. What is happening here? Why is it not working? Let me just, oh, because I was looking at, okay. Actually, this is a good point. I had it all set up wrong. Now the data, kids did this too. The data is in D1 through E100. Got to make it look at the right spot. And now the x-axis is from D1 to D100. So yes, we had to make it look at the spot locations D and E. That's where the data was. I had it looking in location rows A and B. Okay, so there's the second section of that. All right, and now the last little section says copy the entire Inca star as one piece of data and put it in G1. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the entire star and put it over here as in G1 as one piece of data. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get a chart, make it a line graph. The data range now is G1 through H, we'll go a couple hundred. The x-axis will be H's, H1 through H a couple hundred, and remove the extra x-axis. Okay. Whoa. What happened here? A, B, C, D, E, F. Oops, the H data is in G. Okay, there's the X data, the Y data. Okay, so now we want to treat that as the original shape. Okay, so number one, rotate the entire Inca star 90 degrees. So I'm going to come down here and do rotate. Oh, what's that rule again? Whoa. Rotate 90 is Y negative X. Y negative X. Okay, so now we finished at 40. We started at 3, so this is 37 pixels or 37 dots long. So the Y now is in H3, and the negative X is in G3, so equals negative G3. I want to copy that down 37 times. So 43, 37, so down to 80. Why didn't it fill everybody down? Oh, man. Okay, equals, what was that? The X would be in negative G3. Fill down. Okay. Okay, it sucks not having a mouse. All right, so there we go. So it rotated at 90 degrees, and now, of course, we could fix the domain and range, but it's going to fix itself here as soon as I do the next little piece. So we would just continue with that. Now the next one would be rotate 180. That rule is negative X, negative Y. So the original would be equals negative, so the X is in G3, and equals negative H3. And how many was it? 37. So 82 plus 37, 82, 92, 102, 112, 119. And come up there and see that rotated at there. And then we could do one more and put the other one up on top. So for the sake of time, let me just show you what all of the projects ended up looking like. So I have my answer key over here. So the problem that you have, the paper that you have in your hand, there's the answer to problem 1. There's the answer to problem 2. So here's the one that we just did. See, that's if we did it one more, it would finish out problem number 3. This is the answer to problem number 4, kind of a little simple one. And then 5A ends up looking like that. 5B is a investigation of dilation, so dilation and translation. So, made it taller, wider, smaller kind of things. This one what I gave them was the guy and the hat down there, and they had to come up with a rule that would translate the hat onto his head. Number 6 is so the point of this one really was the original data was a ton, so there's no way somebody could end up doing it all by hand. So doing it with the fill down was significantly more, ended up being about 800 points. And then here's number 7. Started out with the Kermit the Frog. We flipped it, we rotated it, we reflected it, we did all kinds of things. And then at the end, I had it dilate at 17 times bigger. So it looks like the frogs were in its mouth. So yeah, so right now I'm into this at 3 blocks. After 3 blocks, I made the requirement be done with 5C. So that's about 3.5 hours of instruction. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to save the last block for like the day before Christmas when we don't have anything to do. So I think 4 full blocks will be about the right amount of time to allow kids to do it all. Okay, yeah, there you go.